Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is a new series called 30 for 30, where I do 30 rapid-fire critiques in 30 days, 15 Adorama picks, and 15 Squarespace rapid-fire critiques. If you want to see all of the rapid-fire critiques in one place, go ahead, click up on the screen right now. We'll take you over to the website to do that, but let's get into a critique. Tear them apart is what this one says for another Adorama Picks rapid fire critique, part of my 30 for 30 critiques in 30 days. I want to thank Adorama Picks for giving me or giving you a code. Use code PXMETFRO30 to get 30% off all of your metal prints until September 30th. Take advantage of that. That is a huge savings. So, Brendan Morrison has told me to tear them apart. Should we tear them apart? I don't know. Let's find out. Oh my God. All right, let's take a look. All right, from June, Nikon D5300, 18 to 55 kit lens right here. So, nothing to rip apart here. I like the, what was the exposure again? 1/320th. Okay. I like that we have a silhouette going on here. What I would rip apart in this case, I would possibly consider going horizontal based off of where the subject is. It could be more interesting of an image because we lose, the sky is all the same here. It's about the sundown, it's something like this. If we think that's not good enough, I use this as a composition tool. Something like this, or I want to do this even better. I want to get rid of, there we go. Something along the lines of this could be better, or putting a little more sky in there would be also acceptable. I just think that the way the composition is done takes away from the image. I know, I keep wanting to try this. There. Something along those lines. Imagine that as the shot. Now, I know you have an 18 to 55, so you're a little further away, but keep that in mind if you have a longer lens for the future, or even with the 18 to 55 going horizontal to get that shot to make it better. Okay, so I like the composition, but, oh, okay, that's why. So this one has a Sony DSC. I was going to say that it's not sharp here, but part of that is because of the Sony camera that's being used. Now, I got to take all this into consideration when I am critiquing. I like what's going on, the use of these flowers to be out of focus to draw you in. Try not to cut off the hand here. It's okay, but obviously the focus is off slightly, most likely due to that camera that is being used. Same thing, Sony camera. So where you can make this better is in the post-processing. It's too flat. Composition, fine. Portrait, fine. We gotta work on the processing. Your job isn't done once you shoot the picture, and I don't care if you use a point and shoot or use an iPhone or you use any other mobile phone to shoot a picture. Your post-processing is extremely important. It can take your images from blah, flat, boring to, okay, this is much better. And in this case, if you added the contrast and you tweaked it and possibly went black and white, it would be a much better photo, and I don't care if it's taken with one of those Sony point and shoots and not a DSLR. Now we're back to the D5300. So I like what's going on here. I love the concept. I love the natural frames. I love the trees crossing in the background, and there's really nice amount of light going in here. Is the composition good or is the composition off? That is for, all of us to figure out, and that's what critiques are for. Let's see. Would it have been better along these lines if we put more of the person in here, or is it part of the story to have the walls in here? This is what critiques are. You try to take what's here and build on it to see if something would be better or if this works the way that it is. In this case, I'm kind of torn to think whether it works where the guy is standing or not, or would I rather see him closer to me, filling the frame more, or would I rather see the photographer closer to him? Exposure, really good. Editing, really good as well. Composition, it's not bad. I would just like to see some other angles out of curiosity. So this isn't bad either, but what I would like, I like the color, I like the processing, longer exposure, yeah, 20 seconds. That's how we're getting the water to glow, to blur out, and that's how we're getting the clouds to blur out. The one place I am lost here is this part of the bridge. I think I want to see more stuff. I think I want to see more of this, more of the bridge here. So I'm curious to see what a horizontal would look like because I just feel pained that the bridge is cut off here. I either want to see the other stanchion where it started or go horizontal so you get more of it in. But everything else about it is spot on. Hey, nice. Nice. Really nice. So that's really nice. And by really nice, I mean it's really nice. It's like it's like there's a photograph. Looking at that photograph again. This is what happens. You see those images and you go, oh yeah, all right, hey. You know, it looks good. Great processing. A little on the darker side over here because they look to be on the shadow side. Of course, the light is up over here, so that's not a detraction. I just think it's a really good shot. Love the way that we have the rocks. I just have to make sure that it's not over-processed, but it doesn't look to be. It looks really good. Nice shot right there. Okay, snowboarding, no EXIF data. I like seeing EXIF data. We're too far away. Or go horizontal here. I know you want to maybe keep these trees in there, but I want to see where he's going to land and where he's going to fly, or she, or whoever it is that's doing this. You just got to get closer and fill the frame more with this, or show more of the environment and the scene by getting closer. So that's one of those things you may be limited by the gear that you're using. Exposure is good, which is fine. To get that right in the snow is a good thing. That's cool. I can live with this. Why? Oh, show EXIF data. There is no EXIF data, which means it was done something else with. I can live with this. I like using portholes or natural frames to draw you in to an image, and that's exactly what we have here. Can we say that the person right in the middle is distracting? Well, in composition, sometimes you want to throw people off to the right-hand side or the left-hand side, but it doesn't always have to be that way. These lines aren't straight. Should they be straight? I think these lines are straight out here, so maybe that's fine. I like the muted color, lack of color there. We've got raindrops swapping on my... Anyway, on the window, nothing you can do about that because it may be rainy. It's okay. It's a nice composition. It's a nice thought. I would like it as part of a story as well. And there we go. So I do have the first thing that pops out of my mind. I do like the processing and I do like the image. The only thing that I see, and this is one of those things that we call mergers that my high school teacher used to yell at me about, and that is that we have a tree growing out of the top of his head. Now, it may seem like it's in a distance, but you need to see this in your frame. This is one of those things that everybody should look at in the frame. I'm always looking at the edges. I'm always looking if there's a merger or something. We call them mergers, where the head is merging with the background because there's a big thing sticking out of their head. You have to be careful with that. The way that you correct that is first, you observe and you see it. You think in the back of your mind. That's what these critiques are all about. Giving you something to keep in the back of your mind so when you're shooting, you can be like, oh, remember when Jared talked about that merger sticking out of somebody's head? You see that? It's sticking out of his head. So how do you get rid of that? You move. You change your angle slightly. You ask them to move. First I move, then you could change the exposure. You can blow out the background a little more so it doesn't become as distracting. But all of these different things are in your mind when you're shooting. You see the frame, make sure you don't have mergers like this. So this is a nice shot. I really like it. You could get rid of this you just need to move slightly. You just need to move slightly because that tree's not going anywhere, but it looks like it's growing out of the top of his head. So that is it, right? Yep, not sure why the EXIF data is gone for these. Must be some major post-processing done after the fact, but I do like what's going on with that image. Best image of the show, right here. That one works out very well. So I will turn over here to say, pretty good set. I like to see the growth from the point-and-shoot camera to the DSLR. If you have a point-and-shoot camera, there's nothing wrong with owning that. Keep going out there and shooting. Keep training your eye. I don't even care if you shoot in auto. Just get the framing, composition, and shooting down. And what will come in the future is understanding exposure, understanding processing, and then understanding composition even more. Anybody can learn how to use a DSLR. It's harder to go from having the skills to use a DSLR to understanding photography, composition, and lighting, and angles. And so far, you have a lot of that down. So that is another Adorama Picks Rapid Fire Critique, part of my 30 critiques for 30 days. I would get this one made as an aluminized print. This could be one of the glossy or the white or the dull, the matte finish on the white substrate would look awesome. Use the code that's up on the screen right now to get 30% off your entire aluminized print order until September 30th, 2015. Take advantage of that. That's a big savings. If you spend $100, you save 30. You spend $200, you save 60. It's almost like getting a free print when you think about it. The more you order, the more you save, the more you can make. And also, if you decide to sell them to somebody, you're making more profit. I'll leave it at that. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya. To check out all the videos from this 30 for 30 series, go ahead and click up on the screen right now. It's going to take you over to the post over on FroKnowsPhoto.com, where you can see all 30 posts once they are live.